I just started the second of the last 16 games, and I've come down to Bucky's Corner with Duncan Reeves. He's going to talk about where the money's gone tonight, and if Gary Ellis is still the favourite, and if so, who can upset him on his search for victory. Dunk, where's the money going tonight?
Well, to be honest, worst in the long book at the minute will be Scott Fisher. Laid him at 7-1 at the off. Quite a lot of tenors on Scott. Have laid Gary Ellis, but not to massive money, so he's probably only a slight loser at the moment. First round heats, they've been a problem for me, or certainly one of them has. Laid quite a lot of even money on BRAY to beat Keith Hall. Keith's a hairdresser, and I think if he'd have been throwing his scissors, he'd have got on nearer than his bowls. It was an absolutely terrible game, and I've done my conkers in, but there you go.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. What else do I say? Can the winner come from the top half? A lot of people are saying no, but Dakin's still in there.
Ashley's still in there. To be honest, there were 4 poor games in my opinion. Brian Hill played okay to get out against David Walker. That was a good result for me on the heat. Obviously, Ashley's still the favourite in the top half, 3-1 at the moment, and well, really looks to have a good chance of getting to the final.
If you're tipping then from now, you're thinking Scott Fisher, Gary Ellis semi-final, and then Dakin in the other half?
Well, Gareth, GWILLIAM, Jack Dyson will certainly give Scott Fisher a game, both of them. But if I was picking now, obviously Gary Ellis, Ashley Dakin final, I'd be picking, yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Dunk. We'll speak to you soon. Scott Fisher proved the bookmakers right with a 21-18 victory over Andy Milsom. He showed his class, his green knowledge and his experience at Pudsey Bowling Club to make it through to the last 8. The splendour of Yorkshire's youth policy was on show once again in the opening rounds of the Pudsey Classic, as Jack Dyson came up against Manchester County star Gareth GWILLIAM. Although both players scored fluently throughout the game and felt comfortable with Jack in hand, it wasn't to be. Chris Ryan and DT Power Tools in between. In the penultimate game of the opening round, Shropshire's Clay FLATTLEY came up against North Lancs and Fylde county bowler Lee Heaton. Could it be in this game that Clay FLATTLEY could FLATTLEY? The answer, yes. 21-13.
Smile, Scott.
Arriving in style, Matt Gillis was sporting a slightly different outfit to the rest of the final 16. Yeah, Matt, can you just explain then the theory behind this tonight?
Well, it's just he's ridiculous, the man. He's just won everything, and
yeah,
and it was only in good humour. Like, I wouldn't have worn it if he couldn't have taken it, but it was just boring, to be honest. He wins so much.
He's won, what is it, about 18 competitions?
18
competitions with Old Bank earlier in the week as well.
Yeah, as well. He was awesome in that as well.
I know you take your teammates with him as well, but do you get to play him much in open competitions? Have you played him too many times?
I've played him a few times, probably once, twice out of about 8, I think, something like that.
It's nice to beat him though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So looking forward to tonight. The green's looking nice, just having a look round now. It seems to be playing well, watching some of our lads practicing earlier.
Just hope it runs as well as it looks. It looks nice, looks in great condition.
It's in good order. And you qualified well, didn't you, beating Ryan Clark to go through on the night?
Yeah, just on this, from this corner where we stood.
Yeah,
actually.
definitely.
Fun back up to there on a hard mark, I believe.
That was a game that possibly looked like it was getting away from you at one
Yeah.
point, and then you've got back. So beating Gary Ellis, that's your first thing. That's the first thing to do.
Yeah, well, to be honest, if he doesn't stand on that mat, there's going to be words.
Yeah, we've got a referee here tonight.
Yeah, so I need to see the referee tonight if he's not on the mat.
Have a little word with him.
If I'm a few behind.
Then you make sure you follow the rules as well.
Yeah, I
So
will.
that first game out of the way, then it's a tough one against Lee Heaton or Clay FLATTLEY. Another. That's a difficult 4 that you're in, and then you'll be into the semi-final, into the final. Not a big job, is it?
I've not looked at the other half yet, so he'll be in the final then.
Don't even worry about it. Ashley Dakin possibly.
Right.
Or Joe Bray, wild card.
Right. Oh, not a problem.
Not a big job. There you go. There we have it. We've
been told Gary first.
Been told tonight that Matt Gillis could not win it, but actually we found out he's got the T-shirt on. He's already got the. He's going to psych the big man out. We'll try and get this last end as well. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be for Matt Gillis. It takes more than a t-shirt and a few mind games to outwit the Wizard of Whitefield. Playing his favourite edge throughout the game, Gary secured a comfortable 21-16 win. It's that time of the year again when we have our little discussion with Jack Griffin. Jack last year picked the winner, picked Callum Jack, didn't you?
Yeah.
Even though we tried to persuade him that Robert Hitchin might be a good bet, Gary Ellis might be a good bet, but no, you stuck with your guns, went with Callum Ray, and he ended up the eventual winner. Did anybody make any money last year because of your tip? Did your dad back him?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just said Callum Ray, I think he's going to win.
Exactly.
This year.
Right, Jack, it's that moment of truth again then. You need to pick this year's winner.
Well, to be honest, I'm gonna go for Ashley Dakin this year.
Ashley Dakin.
I think he's doing good.
He's playing really, really well. A lot of people are picking people from the bottom half of the draw, but you're happy to go with Ashley Dakin. So I'll do that thing again. Scott Fisher.
No.
Gary Ellis.
No.
No?
No.
Ashley Dakin for definite.
Yeah,
Well, there you have it. If you've got any money with you, Ashley Dakin's the man. Jack said it. He picked him last year. He picked Callum last year. Picking Ashley this year. Let's see how we get on. Thanks, Jack.
Come on, Ashley.
And it was Jack's tip Ashley that stormed into a 10-1 lead in his quarter-final game with Brian Hill.
It's getting better now. It's getting better. And it's getting better.
Although Dylan stopped the rut at 10-5, it was virtually one-way traffic for the rest of the game. 4 pairs on the bounce for Ashley saw him run into an unassailable lead at 18-5.
Hurry up. Hurry up.
Dylan did well to scrape to double figures, but it was Ashley Dakin making his way into the semi-finals with a 21-10 victory.
Joseph. Bowling lad.
Joe Bray's fairy tale at Pudsey continued as he entered his quarter-final game with Darren Holt. The nerves Joe had shown in his first game quickly disappeared as he opened up a 10-6 lead, making 4 pairs on his way. Darren tied things up at 10-10, 12 across, and it looked ominous for Joe as the Lancashire County man crept ahead at 15-13. Joe responded well in the latter parts of the game, nicking the lead back at 16-15. At 19 apiece, and what would be the penultimate end of the game, Darren led 2 and put the pressure on Joe with the final ball in his hand. As everybody's told, you should always bid up if you're not counting, and Joe did just this. Running the block through and clinching the end to go 20-19. Joe backed up this great ball with a stunning lead, and the pressure turned quickly back to Darren Holt. Although Darren played through with his final ball of the game, he just missed the end, and the newly nicknamed Giuseppe made his way into the semi-final with a 21-19 win. You're that good that you Clay Flatley secured a convincing 21-13 win over Lee Heaton in his opening round, but was always going to be up against it when he faced the game's #1 Gary Ellis. The Wizard cast his spell very quickly on this game and raced into a 14-0 lead. A lead that secured Gary the highest break on the night and a prize of £50. Not only was Gary's bowling phenomenal throughout the game, but his striking was sensational as well. Concluding the game 21-4, Ellis was showing his intent.
Is that as good as it looks?
The last quarter-final of the evening was another great game between Gareth GWILLIAM and Scott Fisher. Neither player gave an inch in this game as a place in the semi-final was up for grabs. Scott made the better start this time round and led 11-4 and 16-7 before Gareth showed his ability, got back to 16-12. A solid 4-break from Scott seemed to be enough as he led out at all but 12. Gareth was not finished yet though, and with this too the score crept to 20-14.
Let's go back to Fisher. Fisher's game.
Taking a point at the next end, Gareth moved on to 15-20, soon followed by 16. At this point, Fisher was forced to strike as the remaining semi-final qualifiers watched on. With the score at 16-20, Fisher was forced to strike again, but this time not all went his way as the game stood at 18-20. Momentum was now with Gareth as Scott had not touched the block for 4 ends. Were his nerves up to this test? Could he secure that final point? In the last end of the game, Gareth just didn't have enough, and Scott managed to win the end and secure his 21-18 victory and a place in the semi-final. And we'll have action from the semi-finals after this break.